Hello guys, welcome back to another commentary video on The Last of Us, and generally just The Last of Us Part 3 and the multiplayer game, and my thoughts on both of these games in the future. So, to start it off with, I am excited for The Last of Us Part 3. The leaks, the rumors have been spreading across the internet, and I am excited for it. And my thoughts on the Last of Us multiplayer game that Naughty Dog has said they're going to be making and releasing soon, and sometime in 2024 or something like that, is that if you play the original Last of Us, if you actually went in depth in that game, you realize that there was a multiplayer, and it was quite good. It was quite good. I did play a lot of it. Did spend like hundreds of hours, not hundreds, but a long time. It's a game that you could play until eternity, you know. It's like one of those rare games that you could just keep coming back to and still enjoy it. And the multiplayer mode is quite underrated, I would say. Completely different from other multiplayer games. It's kind of, I would say it's kind of like similar to Uncharted's multiplayer. That it's like very underrated. It's got different mechanics that we don't usually see in regular like multiplayer shooters. And I'm not really educated on the whole idea of like the rumors and stuff for The Last of Us Part 3 and multiplayer game. I am aware of like some of the tweets that Naughty Dog and like their staff in general, people who look for rumors and different video games and stuff. I've seen some comments about how Ellie will have just as big as a role as she had in The Last of Us Part 2. I've seen the leaks of the character sheet of what could be a multiplayer or The Last of Us Part 3. And honestly, it's something. It's something because at the end of the day, I don't really like at this point in time, I'm not really interested in the multiplayer. I know some are, like people that have been playing The Last of Us 1 multiplayer for like since 2013 at this point. Like I realize those people are probably hyped for it, but I'm not really in general excited for the multiplayer. I might still play it if it's going to be on next gen, I'm pretty sure. Um might stream it or something, but again, that's in the distant future. Same thing with The Last of Us Part 3. I don't know when that's coming out. I have no idea what type of timeline they're going for. If it's going to be like The Last of Us Part 2 where it took what like I don't know, like 7, 8 years to make the second game. We could be waiting here until like 2030. And that's why I'm kind of not really generally like really thinking about The Last of Us right now. It's in the back shelf, honestly. And I think at the end of the day, there's got to be some kind of conclusion if there is gonna be a part 3. I would say there's gonna be a part 3. They would obviously make a part 3 to finish the trilogy of, you could say, masterclass level games. Um, at this point, like I just want to see what happens with the story, with the general timeline. Are we going to a different type of thing? Because we know it's going to be a sequel. Because Ellie's in this one. It can't be a prequel. It can't be anything remotely like that. So, I'm invested in part 3, but I'm not really invested in the multiplayer game. And not to say the multiplayer game's going to be bad. It might be incredible. I mean, the first multiplayer was incredible, but this might be a hot take, but personally, like, I think they should actually just merge like the multiplayer 2 and The Last of Us Part 3 into the same game, because I feel like that would give a lot of nostalgia. And maybe we haven't even talked about DLCs yet. They can add a lot of DLCs to add more to this narrative. And personally, I like that we got to see a lot of like Fedra and like government type stuff in part 2, it's incredible. It's incredible. And I like that. I want to see the lore of how the world's going to survive this infection. Well, we like 24, 25 years, and that's like the present. That's the present. So, I mean, I could ramble on and on and on about how I feel about this timeline, but there's got to be some light at the tunnel. Last of Us Part 2 was just a bloodbath, personally, just a bloodbath of characters that some of them I didn't really care about. I'm sorry, but like freaking Mel and Owen, I really think I don't care. I don't care. And personally, I mean, it was kind of messed up what Ellie did, obviously. But I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy because I feel like part 3, I'm feeling like it's going to be another one of those bloodbaths again, and it's not going to be part 1 where the deaths were meaningful. You can't tell me right now that Owen's death was meaningful in the story. Maybe there was, you know, a little bit more, that created more hate between Ellie and Abby, but I just don't see how Mel's death is, like, going to continue this story. Same thing with, like, some of the other side characters. And then, personally, I'm glad they kept Tommy. One of the only things they did right in that game, but that's, I mean, I already got a Last of Us Part 2 review on my channel, so you could go watch that after you're done with this. But we're going in a direction of we don't know. We know Ellie's gonna have to be inevitably into this game in part 3. Abby, I'm not sure. Abby, her character arc is, I would say, kinda done. Like, Ellie spared Abby. What else do we need between these two characters? That's just my opinion, but Abby's character arc is over. Like, Abby is like a Joel figure. She's like a parenthood towards the kids she saves in part 2. She survived the attack. She survived Ellie trying to kill her, like, what, like 2 times? She survived every single thing that happened in part 2, and she had a good character arc, I feel like. She had a well-developed, like, I don't hate her anymore. And you shouldn't either. Because she carried part 2. I can't lie, she carried part 2. And for people to say that Abby should be in the next game, I disagree with that strongly. Abby's character arc is over. It's over. I feel like she now is free of this curse of just murder between Ellie and Abby. She's done. She's done trying to fight Ellie. She's trying to refuge that one kid that she's trying to save. She is alive. She's still standing. But Ellie, she will undoubtedly be in part 3. She will be one of those, again, those center points with Tommy and Ellie, maybe even Dina. We haven't really seen a bunch of those part 2 characters that got introduced in the game died in the game. Now, you could say that's to, you know, drive the narrative, but I think they're just wasted potential. I think Owen could have been a really good piece, even though I didn't care about him. If he survived part 2, he would have been something else. I feel like they could have even done something if they killed Abby. Owen goes try to kill Ellie. I think that would be a kind of an interesting take, because if Ellie killed Abby in Santa Barbara at the end of part 2, like, I don't know what else would, like, what else would happen. Like, you could really go a bunch of different ways, but they kind of restrict that because now they gotta introduce a whole new cast of characters that are probably gonna die in part 3. And a lot of those characters we're not going to see their full character arc. Owen, we saw a little bit of a character arc. Mel, we kind of saw a little bit of character arc, but not the character arc that The Last of Us is famous for with Joel and Ellie and their relationship in part 1. Like,
Can we get away from these guys?
it's just how it happens. And I don't even know how long I've been rambling for. Like, I'm recording this, like, at 3 a.m. Like, I'm rambling about The Last of Us Part 2 still, even though I've accepted what happened in it. Like, it released in 2021, one game of the year.
Go.
Personally, I don't know about you, I don't think it deserved, but that's a different topic of another day. But, I'm sitting here in my room, complaining about The Last of Us Part 2 and its relationship with Part 3 and how those minor characters don't mean anything to me anymore. To some people, they might have cared. They might have cared.
Come on.
Like, Abby's crew is dead. If Abby's going to be in Part 3, don't kill,
Just keep going.
like, the chill. Damn, like a mountain malfunction right there. But again, don't kill the children that Abby's protecting over. Her character arc is over. But now, if you want Abby in Part 3, you're gonna need a whole new batch of filler. You're gonna need a bunch of filler because at this point, I don't really see how many other characters you could do. You could do what? So let's count it on. So Ellie, Tommy, Dina, possibly Abby, possibly Lev. Who else? Like, Tommy's, like, wife? Like, bro, she's like a side character. Not even really. She saw, what, like, 10 minutes of screen time? Maybe 5 minutes of screen time in Part 2? I just don't know how they're gonna do it. I don't know how they're gonna do it. Once again, I'm complaining about a game that I finished and come to terms with, but I'm still rambling on, am I? So,
I need you to hear me out.
thoughts on Part 3 in general, final thoughts. It's going to be a masterclass game. It better be. The disaster. They've splitted this community into Part 2's incredible. It's an incredible sequel. And then you got another batch of people say, this is so bad. I hate this game. Why did they kill Joel? Like, it's splitting, and really, it's just making the Last of Us community, like, it's making it bad. It's a toxic community now, you could say, with people's opinions and, like, people saying all this stuff. At the end of the day,
Abby.
this is what The Last of Us is all about. Creating a masterclass story. Like, I felt like people really had so much high standards, and I had high standards for Part 2. It delivered like 70%. But that 30%, that was so not developed at all. So, those are my thoughts on Part 3, and really, you could go check the Part 2 review on my channel, you know. But at the end of the day, I still love The Last of Us, the franchise in general, and Naughty Dog as a game studio. They have delivered again and again and again on masterclass storytelling that no game could really replicate, except maybe the Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption 1. I haven't really played those games at all. Like, maybe that'll be another story for another day on how I haven't played those. Might do it, might not. At the end of the day, The Last of Us is still The Last of Us. So, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe button if you want to see me more ranting about video games that eventually won't be relevant in the next 20 years. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.
Yeah, sure.